I found out I wasn't their son the same night my little boy ruined a $4,000 cake, and my own mother looked at him like he was trash she'd accidentally brought home from the hospital. She said it loud enough for the whole ballroom to hear. "You're not really ours." Then she smiled at my 6-year-old like the words were a gift. I picked him up, frosting still dripping from his sneakers, and I walked out knowing I'd never come back. 3 hours later the police knocked. They weren't there for the cake. They were there for my father. My name is Caleb. 34. I move strangers around the city for a living, night shift dispatcher, the voice in the dark that tells you your ride is 4 minutes away. I live in a walk-up that smells like burnt coffee and crayons. My son Noah thinks red lights are angry robots and green lights are happy ones. That's the purest thing I own. I was always the reliable one. The spare key, the emergency 20, the guy who could stay calm when the power went out and mom was crying about the mortgage. Dad called me the anchor. Translation, the thing you tie the boat to so it never drifts far enough to breathe. My sister Harper was the firework, loud, bright, expensive. I was the one who paid for the matches. Community college instead of the state school I got into. Weekend shifts at the warehouse so Harper could study abroad. I told myself it was love. It was just training. The night of the engagement party, Noah tugged my sleeve in the middle of the ballroom and whispered the universal code. "Daddy, potty emergency." We sprinted. On the way back he did that little sideways skip he does when he's proud of himself for not having an accident. His light-up sneaker kissed the leg of the dessert table. Just kissed it. The cake sighed, leaned, and avalanched like it had been waiting for permission. Harper screamed first, that was $4,000. Her fiancé Owen's 8-year-old clapped like it was the best magic trick he'd ever seen. Then Mom, champagne sloshing, looked straight at Noah and said it again, slower, tasting every syllable. "He's not even really ours, is he? Ask your father." The room went colder than the ice sculpture. I felt the sentence hit my son before he understood the words. I scooped him up, heart hammering so hard I thought the chandelier would shake. I looked at Mom. I looked at Dad, already loosening his tie like this was just another Tuesday. "We're done," I said. And we left. But that wasn't the worst of it. Home. Coco. Cartoon fire trucks on low volume. Noah asleep on my chest, sticky fingers curled in my shirt like he was still holding on to the night. Knock at 12:47 a.m. 2 officers. The older one had kind eyes and a voice like warm gravel. "Mr. Whitlock, we're not here for you. We're here for your father." Downstairs. Cuffs. Turns out Dad had been borrowing more than my couch for the last 18 months. He'd been borrowing my name, my social, my credit, my future. Wedding shuttle buses. Bakery deposits. A platinum card he used to keep up appearances. All in my name. All while texting me that I was selfish for not comping rides for Harper's bachelorette. Every "can you just help this once?" was another brick in a wall I never saw rising. Dad stepped off the elevator still wearing the engagement party tie. Acted like the cops were uber black. "Caleb, tell them it's fine. Tell them you gave permission." My voice came out flat, the same tone I use when 3 drivers are screaming and a passenger is having a heart attack. "I never gave you permission to steal my life." He rolled his eyes. Actually rolled them. "It's family, Caleb. Fraud is such an ugly word." The younger officer put a hand on his shoulder. Dad looked at Noah peeking around my leg and tried the grandpa voice. "Hey, champ, Grandpa just." "You don't speak to him," I said. "You don't breathe near him ever again." Mom rang through on speaker, shrill and furious. "You called the police on your own father. Over money. You're destroying your sister's wedding." I let her scream. Then I told her what he did. She didn't pause. "You've always been dramatic. And that boy." I hung up before she could finish the sentence again. The twist wasn't the money. I could claw the money back. Freeze, dispute, survive. The twist came 2 days later when Owen, Harper's fiancé, texted from a number I didn't know. "Hey. Need to tell you something before I call off the wedding." I stared at the screen until it went dark. He sent a second text. Your mom cornered my son in the bathroom at the party. Told him if he didn't fix the cake situation she'd make sure Noah never saw his daddy again. Kids 8. He panicked. That's why he tripped your boy. He thought he was saving you. I read it 3 times. 4. 10. My mother threatened an 8-year-old child into hurting my son, so she'd have an excuse to say out loud what she'd apparently been whispering for years. That Noah and I were mistakes she tolerated until we became inconvenient. I'm sitting here now, coffee cold, Noah asleep in a blanket fort we built because he asked if monsters could come through the phone. I keep replaying Mom's voice in that ballroom, the way she smiled when she cut us out of the family like dead leaves. I always thought blood made you family. Turns out some people only keep you if you pay the toll in silence. Dad's facing felony charges. Harper lost her venue deposit and her fiancé. Mom hasn't stopped crying to the relatives about how I tore the family apart. But my apartment is quiet tonight. Just the hum of the fridge and Noah's little snores. For the first time in 34 years, the anchor isn't holding anyone else down. He's finally floating. If this had been you. If your own mother looked at your child and said those words. If your parents stole your name while calling you selfish. Would you press charges? Would you forgive? Or would you just close the door and teach your kid that chosen family can be enough? Tell me in the comments. I'm still trying to figure it out.